Hey guys, welcome back to Chill.
I forgot about that. Shit.
Welcome back to preferential voting.
Oh, no. What? Sorry?
Preferential voting.
Voting, okay.
Yeah. What's Amara's ability?
Amara's ability? She, like everyone else, has 3 abilities.
Oh.
There's this phase fist,
Oh.
where she can do a few things. One is she throws a bunch of fists forward in front of her. One is that she can kind of make a huge fist go on the ground and grab people, I think. And one is... she does like a ground slam. It's like a big AoE of punchiness. So yeah, she's the melee character.
Alright.
So if you're interested
Do they have a melee character in every game?
Yes.
So what was the one in the first game?
Brick.
Yeah.
His whole ability was punching people.
Yeah.
There's always a melee character, there's always a sniper, etc. And the rest.
Yeah, Siren.
There is not always a siren, because there isn't one in the pre-sequel.
Oh.
But also the siren doubles as the melee character in this game, so... I guess you could say there's always like a mech user of some kind, or like a robot user.
Yeah. So what was the one in Borderlands 2? Zero? Because you are a robot?
No. Axton has a turret and Gage has a robot, Deathtrap, if you remember. I talked about him earlier.
Yeah. And so, what was about in Borderlands 1?
In Borderlands 1, Roland had a turret.
Okay. And you don't see it in Borderlands 2, I guess.
Yeah, you do.
Hmm?
Yes, he uses it when we save him from the dam. Which we have done. You just didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
As usual. So Reese is now in this robot. He's got a mustache hologram. He's just like remote controlling it.
Thanks. Think I'm getting the hang of this. So for the record, this is not a probe. Do not call me Reese Probe or whatever. Call me Reese Sphere. Well, that's pretty tough to say. Reese Sphere. Oh, I just bit my tongue. Call me Reese Ball. Time to stop that laser and get your vault key fragment. For Atlas!
Do you want to see a little secret thing? It's not super secret, but it's kind of secret.
Anyone who brings me a dead Vault Hunter will receive a 2-hour pass to the Zanara. Currently in orbit and featuring a 25 cheese nacho fountain, round-the-clock skag oil massages, and privacy booths with our service bots. No questions asked.
Okay.
I think he might have talked over what would have been Zero's dialogue, but Zero has a little challenge for me over here. Handsome Jackie.
Okay.
So Zero, as well as like Hammerlock and Claptrap and Moxie, they all have these kind of ongoing forever missions, kind of.
Yeah.
And Zero's thing is that he wants you to assassinate certain targets. And in this case, it's Handsome Jackie, a cheap imitation knockoff of Handsome Jack. You can see he's got the mask on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sometimes we have whole conversations in between episodes, so it gets a bit distracting of what we were actually talking about. And sometimes we want to talk about what we're talking about in between episodes, but then we forget what we've actually already said. I apologise for the confusion.
We were just continuing our talk about how important it is to, like, when you're going through difficulties, to talk to other people about those difficulties.
Yeah.
Because then that helps you get through them.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, talk to people who would be helpful to talk to.
I suppose, yeah. You do kind of want to
like,
pick who you talk to.
Yeah. Because
sometimes
not everyone's going to understand.
Well,
people
people interpret and live their lives differently. So you want to talk to someone who lives a similar life. Not to say that, the thing is, you don't want to feel like you're insulting people by not, asking them for help. But it's just like, I don't know, they live different lives.
Yeah.
But then again, when I talk about my problems and stuff, I talk to a very, very few select people. But that's because I'm a very private person, so
yeah.
When it comes to my real issues.
Yeah.
But I have ways of dealing with my problems. See, I'm an extremely introverted person, so the best way to solve... Oh, that guy just walked right into it. No, what? That didn't count? Oh my god, no!
What the heck?
Oh, I was betting on
I guess
that.
you hadn't dealt him recent damage, so
Technically, the goop killed him.
So I guess I'm not one of those people that you talk to about your problem. Really personal problem.
When I say that there are very few people, I mean there is like 1.5 people.
Yeah.
Again, this is what I mean. It's not to be
Okay.
insulting. It's just because I
No.
literally just don't talk to anyone.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Alright, then I probably know who you would talk to.
But my point is that everyone, you gotta know yourself. Know how, like, what you're looking for, I guess. Not, you don't want like an echo chamber, but you want to be able to, gauge the kind of people you're looking for. Like, for instance, I know a lot of people who, if I talked about my problems, they just wouldn't get it, and they look at it in their own perspective, which wouldn't count. A little example, slightly different to what we're talking about, but I was talking about this to Navini the other day. I was doing online dating once, and I have a friend who is very out there and very kind of zealous. And I asked him sort of advice, like, what should I say here? What should I do? And he told me. And I did exactly that. And it felt completely wrong.
Yeah.
And although it would have been the perfect thing for him, for me, it was not correct.
Didn't feel right.
No.
I mean, be yourself is very typical, but you can only be the best version of yourself, in a way that's comfortable for you.
I think
And you can't pretend to be somebody else for a long time either. Eventually, the person you're talking to is going to work out that you're lying to them.
Yeah.
Which is gonna like really kill whatever you thought you had going.
Yeah. To know yourself is the thing.
Yeah.
What do you actually like? I think I've talked about this a fair few times, probably on Same and all that, but I'd say recently, in the last like 3 or 4 years, I've really come into my own and kind of figured out like who I really am.
Yeah.
And that being like the introvertedness and stuff. What's interesting, and I don't know if this applies to everyone, but I think that the logic might be there, which is that when I was a kid, right, when you are a kid, I should say, you, in my opinion, are probably your truest self, because you don't have societal expectations. Your brain hasn't been warped by who you should be or who you think you should be or anything like that. Your truest self is who you are, in my opinion, at your youngest state. At least in my situation.
So, in that case for me, then I always go back to thinking about what I was like when I was 11.
Yeah.
Where I felt like I could do anything, I could do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
I was pretty proud of that.
It's when you go through high school that things start to really kind of mess up and your brain kind of fucks up and you start to think that, maybe I'm not like this, maybe I'm different.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've told this story before, but, the person who I was in high school was not my true self, I would say. Like, maybe I was to you because I was comfortable with you, but, I was always trying to go out and be social and make all these new friends. But in reality, that's not me.
Yeah.
It's really not. And that realization of realizing that's not me was one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Some of the things that you've done in the past confused me.
Like what?
Like, when partying, you would do certain things, and I'd be like, that's a bit out of character.
What certain things?
So, like...
It sounds like I'd do drugs. Which
no, like,
do.
people had told stories about... Well, not really stories, but, like, you drank a lot and spewed up, and I'm like, that's...
Yeah. Well, exactly, and I did that kind of stuff because I thought that's what I needed to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like when in high school, it's interesting, and it's actually a weird like half problem that I have, where I was trying to fit in. I was trying to be what I thought society wanted me to be, not to be so fucking society. We live in a society, etc. But that's why I was like that. And it was only after I left high school and university that I kind of come to realize, like, wait a second, that wasn't me at all. There was a reason why I always felt bad. And not sad, but like, I didn't feel particularly happy either. And I felt, very anxious and stuff whenever I went to, like, those kind of events and things.
So when do you think you were the best version of yourself? Like, the version of you in your childhood that you thought?
Every day I'm getting better at it, I'd say. But I'll talk about that on the next episode.
Alright, bye-bye.
Bye.